guys, I'm glad you could come along. I'm pointing to the brush pile next to the high tunnel. We got to move that. And I'm also doing a voiceover on this little film because the tractor is so loud you really can't hear me talking. So we've raised the front end loader, I got the forks on, and we are off. Changing the gears to get into third.
Look into my eyes. You must subscribe. And I want cheese.
And there we go. I really love this little tractor. As you can tell, it's easy for me to get up on. And we're running down the ways here. You can see the little pond off to the left. The camera does well. I think this is picking up really good. The high tunnel is looking really good right now, guys. We'll give you an update on that. But I'm going to go around the high tunnel. And you get to see in the front there our little hayfield. And we've been happy to have all the rain we need to get this thing to grow. Passing the little compost pile on the left. And if you look, you can see that my tractor tires are wet. So it is pretty wet down here. And we're just tootling along, going past the lagoon. And pretty soon we'll come around the corner here to the left, where you can see it's really wet. I mean, I'm probably telling you right now, look how wet it is down here. And I'm also thinking, man, I hope I don't get stuck in this. This is where we're going to put the blackberries. Anyway, so we're going to make a sharp left, and we'll be on the back side of the pond here. As you see, we're coming up on it. And around the corner we go, and you can start to see the brush pile. The trick to this is lifting it, getting the balance to make sure that you lift it all up at once and it don't fall over on you or off to the left or off to the side. Anyway, so we're going to give her a whirl. And I'm stopping the tractor and I'm talking about how that we got to balance this thing. And telling you that I got to lower the forks. I got to be careful what I do when I adjust the tractor up and down. So anyway, here pretty soon we'll probably get started after I talk a little bit more. And here we go. I'm going to take and put it in gear. I'll bring the front end loader down, lower the forks, get them kind of level with the ground, and we'll move forward once I get going. And I'll have a feel for the ground. The ground is kind of unlevel and it's pitched up a little bit, so I'll get a little closer, and then I'll lower the blades and I'll give a run at it, and we'll see what happens. Oops, I'm pushing it, so that means my tips of my forks are too high, so I'll have to tilt them down a little bit. Get them down. And see if I get it. See if I did it the first time. Did I do it? I got it, guys. I have got it. And I lift her up, and there you are. Balanced the first time. How about that? Now we have to move the brush pile without hitting the high tunnel. I want you to see that on the right, there is a dam there. And it's up a little ways. 2 or 3 feet, well, maybe 2 feet. Here I go. I'm heading towards the high tunnel. I'm trying to adjust so I don't like tilting too much. It's you got to balance. You don't want to hit the high tunnel, but you don't want your tractor to flip over. So here we go. Do you think I'll hit that door? Well, it's just got to do it. Yeah, and I do graze it a little bit, but I made it, guys. I made it. And I'm telling you, there's some expertise in driving like this. I'm not touting my own horn here or tooting my own horn, but you have to be able to balance. You have to see how the tree is going to be or how the brush pile. You got to get up the hill. You've got a lot of angles to maneuver, and you're watching. And as I get to the top of this little flat here, the top of the hill, I'm going to readjust the load because I need to get it. It's starting to list a little bit, so what I'll do is I'll lower it, and I'll move go back out, and I'll come back in so I can get it closer to more balance. So you'll see me pointing towards where I want to be a little further over. And so I'll back out. I'm dragging the tree, so I gotta lower those front end forks, come back out, and I'll move over just a little bit to the right, and I'll come and grab what I can, and we'll see how much I get. And I'm lifting, tilting the forks back, and I'm lifting it up, and I like that balance. It feels a lot better to me. So I'm going to take it and move her up. I did leave a little bit. We'll come back and get that. I'm not going to stop for that little bit. And up the hill we go. And I think right here I start to talk about the tractor a little bit. It's your dealerships, I think, that make the difference. I guess you could say this brand's better than that. We've always we started off with the Ford tractor, the older Fords. Oh my gosh, Ford 5000. It was a row crop tractor, and it was tall. It was hard to get on and off. And, it was made in 1972. We've had some Alice Chandlers, all sorts of stuff. And anyway, so you got to have a front end loader. You really do. It's not a tractor unless you have one. I mean, I guess if you want a rake, but I need a front end loader because I do all sorts of stuff on it. And the tractor, this little boomer tractor Ford, it's lower to the ground, and it felt a lot different for me than that big old heavy Ford 5000. So anyway, I'm happy to have it, and it allows us the ability to stay on the farm, the little homestead here, because we use it for everything. We scoop fertilizer with it. We're moving things. We're taking out T-posts all the time. We're moving objects that we just can't do by ourselves. And believe it or not, 20 years ago, we didn't have a tractor. We didn't have nothing out here. What you see, trees and pond and everything, is because we've done this. The land was just flat. It was just a field where somebody had put a little mobile home on. And we planted the trees. We saw the vision to put it where it needs to be. Anyway, all the trees and the pond and the high tunnel and such. So we're coming up on this brush pile. I obviously want to get this brush that I'm carrying up high enough on top of the pile. And to do that, you got to lift it up, and you got to keep tilting and lifting and tilting. You do not want this brush pile to come back on you. That's probably one of the things you're going to have to learn. You don't want this stuff to come back on you. And I'm telling you, I'm going to put this thing up high on top of the brush pile as I can get it. So here we are. I get as close as I can, and I lift and I tilt, and I get a little closer still, and I lift it up and I tilt it. So that way I keep the brush on the front end loader away from me. And I tilt it, and now the trick here is getting it loose. Once you have it in place, I'm going to bring it up a little higher, let the weight of the brush hold it, and it does come down a little bit. You can see it was kind of heavy. And so we got that done. There you go. And then I'm going to back up, always set my blades and lower them down, keep them lower. That's a balance thing. And then I'm talking about a few things here, probably about that we're not going to burn this brush pile. I'm talking about the joystick here. Yeah. The Ford 5000, it didn't have a joystick, and I'm telling you, I had to learn how to do this thing the new way, right? They've had joysticks out there forever. To the right you lower, you tilt. To the left is one way, up and down. Wow, you see that? I bounced that down. It's very touchy, the hydraulics on this. I'm throttling it up a little bit, and now I'm going to turn her around, and we're going to go back after that other little piece of limb or two I brought. And then so we're tootling down the road and getting ready to turn here, and off I go. I'm sure I'm talking about something, I don't remember what, but you can see me getting ready to go. And I'm shifting the gears into my third gear here, and I'm going to be traveling. I can go pretty fast. Right, bring up on the throttle. And we are cruising. This is kind of neat. You guys like riding on the side of me here, getting to see what I get to see. Every day, we take a lot for granted here. That's why, see, I'm waving my hands. This is just so nice to be out here. To be in the semi-quiet, You can see the dog. We fenced in our yard to the right there. And we actually have farm gates. We've got cattle panel, T-post, and farm gates. And that makes our dog run, or if you want to call it. And so now, I'm going to go and grab this. You know, sometimes it's harder to grab the smaller stuff than it is the big because there's no weight to back you up here. So let's see if I can get this. I lower it. I'm going to have to tilt my forks on the front, and let's see if I can get it. Do I make it? Do I scoot it? Oh, didn't quite get it. And so I'm making some adjustments, probably bringing the tips of the forks down and bringing her, and I believe I've got it this time. And there you go. Lift her up. Hey, there you go. And I have it, you know. I guess I'm being kind of lazy here, but I got a tractor, you know. I got time. I'll just go grab. Better than me going grabbing and dragging it. I have done that. When I didn't have a tractor, I'd grab these old limbs and pull them up to the pile. But, you know, now I have modern conveniences. I think technology is a wonderful thing if used correctly. Whoa, and I go backwards. You know, I don't even look backwards. Well, I kind of do, but I kind of have to know what's around me. I don't want to run over anything. Isn't this gorgeous out here? It really is. And we're zoom, 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 zoom up that hill. I don't really go in fourth gear very much at all. I'm usually in third, and the range is on the fourth. So you got a third gear, but you can go 1, 2, 3, 4 gears out of that. It took me a while to get used to that one too, having those higher ranges. So we're climbing up the hill to get rid of this one. Okay, we're at the top of the hill, and we're going to offload this little branch. Sometimes these things can be more difficult than the one I just did because I've got my forks kind of in between the limbs, and so the trick to here is to get this off the forks. And what I'll do is I'll lift it up and I'll tilt her down, and hopefully I'll try to get this to slide off the forks. Maybe try to catch it in the limbs a little bit to help me with that. So you see what I'm doing is I'm going up and down, kind of letting the weight of the little limb do it. And I'm bouncing a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but there you go. I jerk it, and I keep bringing that fork down, you know, tilting the blade up, tilt it down, and let that slide. That's another little technique you can learn to do. Back up, so see how I do that? And I keep bouncing it, and I got her done. There you go, guys. I got it done. The pile is moved. Now I'm going to go over here and probably talk about the field a little bit that you see in front of you. Oh, I squish it down. Smash her down. That's the thing to do. Smash it down. And then we're going to reverse. And I'm going to lower those forks. I like to get that front end down as quick as I can. It's better to have it down lower than up high when you're moving around. Well, thank you guys. We are done. We have accomplished what we set out to do this morning, is move that brush pile, and maybe you guys could have learned a little bit what we do every day, and if it helps you guys out to figure out what you want to do as far as tractors, what we do with brush piles, how we do this on the homestead, this farm. We're more than happy to share our lives with you guys, and thank you for coming along.